All right, welcome to the Wilmer Airport. We are excited today to have the crew of LifeLink with us today. We have Ron, and we have Janet, and we have Twyla. It's a great day to be out and about, learning more about what's happening in our community. And first of all, I want to talk to each one of the crew members, and find out what you guys do. Starting with Twyla, what's your job here on LifeLink?
I'm a flight nurse. I've been with LifeLink since May of this year.
And what are your duties when you're in flight and when you're taking care of a patient?
Duties consist of anything really that the patient needs in the air. We do basically the same job as ground crews, hospitals. We just do it in a helicopter.
Oh, very good. And Janet, same thing with you. Maybe expand on something that you do based on the type of person that you're transporting.
Well, it's about the same thing. We're continuing the care that a hospital or a ground ambulance has started. We're able to manage airways and give medications and just monitor the patient until we can get them to a tertiary facility.
Very good, and that's the job of LifeLink. Captain Ron is with us. I know that you are retired. Are you retired from the military? You're in the Army?
I'm not retired from the military, but that's what I started flying, is in the Army. I was in the Army for 6 years. I spent 3 years over in Germany and 3 years in Fort Rucker, Alabama. And I was an instructor pilot down at Fort Rucker, Alabama when I got out.
Oh, very good. And how did you become a LifeLink captain?
Well, after I got out of the Army, I applied for the position and I got accepted, and that was back in 1990. So I've been with LifeLink now for about 23 years.
Oh, very good. Tell us what we have behind us here. What kind of helicopter were we looking at?
This is a Bell 407. It's a lot similar to the OH-58 Delta model that they have in the military. And single engine, four-bladed, it averages about 150 miles per hour. And we have about a little over 2 hours of fuel on board when we take off.
And one of the questions that I get very often is people want to know how long it takes for you guys to get, say, from here, Wilmer, to Minneapolis or to St. Cloud. And if I remember right, it takes, maybe 45 minutes to get from here to Minneapolis?
No, we can get under that. We can probably get to, I flew back last night in about 30 minutes from Minneapolis, Hennepin County, back here. And we can get to St. Cloud less than that, maybe 20, 25 minutes, depending on the winds and the weather conditions.
Yeah, that's true. And we had some bad weather come through this morning, and now we have a little bit of a wind. And when we have that northwest wind, I'm sure that you can get there a lot quicker than what you normally would get there. Tell us one of the reasons, or the reason, why LifeLink decided to base a helicopter and a crew here in Wilmer.
Well, a lot of our customers are out in the western Minnesota area, and we're able to get some of these patients into St. Cloud, Minneapolis, Fargo, or Sioux Falls in a faster amount of time. Oftentimes they may have only one or two ambulances in that community, and for them to transfer a patient can take that ambulance out of that community for several hours. And so time is what we can certainly offer our customers out in the western end.
And that's very important, because time can save a life. And what are the outcomes? There must be a real positive patient outcome by using LifeLink.
Well, again, time is what we can offer, and a critical care crew. That might be something that the referring hospital is able to provide at that time. And we can make a big difference in our heart patients that are having a heart attack, and get them into a cath lab very quickly. And as you've all heard, time is muscle, and therefore we're contributing to saving that patient's heart muscle as best we can.
And very good. And one of the things that people want to know when they ask is that not every patient is a critical condition patient. There's some things that you work with, I think it's a neonatal unit for babies. And what is the range of patients that you transport?
Well, we really transfer anything from newborn all the way through, the entire lifespan. And you're right, not every patient is totally critically ill, but still time sensitive for whatever their needs are. Maybe it's an organ transplant that just came up, and while they themselves are not sick, it's timely. Time is of the essence for them to get to that facility for that organ transplant. We do work very closely with St. Cloud Hospital, St. Mary's in Duluth, Fairview University, Minneapolis Children's, United, who am I missing? St. Paul Children's, Regions, right, all of those.
They're all part of the consortium that you guys work with, and it's a great relationship. Great to be able to work with them in collaboration of all the crew with the crews, and it's going to be great. Speaking of crews, the crew has decided they're going to take me up, and we're going to show you what Wilmer looks like from above, and we have a few more things we're going to talk about. But right now, we're heading up.
Everybody all set?
All set in the back.
All right, run up. Somebody's up hot, Mike. There you go. I'm going to go down the west side of town, around the north side, and let you see the east side now, because you're on the right. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Twyla, why don't you tell us what some of the challenges are of providing care when we're up here and you're transporting through the helicopter here in Lake Lane?
So some of the challenges include the space in general. This you saw previously, the space inside the aircraft is actually rather small. So you put 2 medical crew members in here, and that significantly reduces the size. Another barrier to care would be that oftentimes it is dark when we're flying, so we're operating based off of flashlights and very small cabin lights. A third barrier to care would be not having any of your senses. It's loud, you can't hear breath sounds, heart sounds, manual blood pressures. You can't often see the entire length or width of the patient based off of how they're in the aircraft. And then you're also not able to palpate numerous extremities, both legs, and sometimes not even the left arm very well, just based off of how the patient is lying in the aircraft.
For traffic, Cherokee 69 to 68 Whiskey is 10 miles southeast at 3000, landing runway 14 more.
Is it your intent to do a low approach to the hospital?
Cherokee traffic.
No, we didn't land at the hospital last time, but we did fly low over it.
Directly east, also be landing runway 14 more.
And tell us about the continuing education and the training program you have with LifeLink.
LifeLink offers many continuing education opportunities in the community. Some of them include life-saving support courses such as CPR, advanced cardiac life support, advanced pediatric
else you want to see?
Maybe if we can just buzz like right around by the hospital and then loop back, we should be good.
Okay.
One of the questions that people ask and wanted to know is when you're on a scene, is there anyone that's allowed to ride with the crew? If someone, like if my daughter or my son or someone was injured, could I ride along with him to the hospital?
You know, every patient and every family member or person that wants to ride with is a case-by-case basis, just based off of how the patient's doing, different things that could arise with the patient, and also with the clinicians that are working that day. There's not a lot of room in the aircraft, and we have to be very safe in everything that we do. We also have to take into consideration how the patient is doing as far as, are they stable, are they not stable, are there any procedures that would need done in the air that another person in the aircraft may kind of prevent us from being able to do those things. So it's just honestly a case by case.
And what about right now as we're coming into the hospital? What would be the procedure that you guys do to get ready to unload someone at a hospital?
So at this point we would make sure that everybody is buckled in. We would typically not talk for the last 50 feet or so to just look for any obstacles as we were coming down to the ground, like the power lines and the telephone poles and trees and birds. Then once we would land, we would get in contact with our communications center to let them know that we have successfully completed our flight plan. And then depending on if the patient is stable or unstable would depend on if we would shut down the helicopter or not prior to unloading the patient. Oftentimes we try to completely shut down the rotor blades, and then we would walk around the front of the aircraft and open up the doors and unload the patient, as Janet showed you that we use the sled.
LifeLink is going to be at the fire department open house and the read-along that they're having there. So if you want to get a little closer look at the helicopter, there'll be a crew there based at the fire station, and always a good time to come in and take a little closer look and have a chance to meet the crew and kind of the semi-citizens of Wilmer, as they're here quite often, and you know, maybe just stop by, say hi to them, and let them know that you appreciate all the good work that they do.
Okay, so we're here looking at the inside of the aircraft, and as you can tell, it's a lot smaller on the inside than what you probably envision when you're looking at it from the outside. We have a place for everything, and of course everything should be in its place. Back here is our suction wall, and we have all of our suction catheters, things that we would need in that respect for the patient. We keep some IV starts, some medications up in there that are under lock. We have a medication bag here. We carry quite a few medications that you would find in an emergency department or an ICU. We also have our oxygen bag and our syringe medication delivery system. On our stretcher, we have a jump bag, an airway bag. We carry portable oxygen and our monitor. Our monitor is capable of doing not only heart rate and blood pressure, but we're also able to do temperature monitoring, end-tidal CO2, things that you would typically only find in an ICU, including arterial lines and SWAN monitoring systems. So in just a second, I'll show you how we open the door and load our patient inside. All right, so it slides out on a cam system. It's quite easy. I'm not very strong, and I'm able to swing it out and swivel it back in with a patient. From there, we have a locking system that we just unlock there, and we're able to remove our cot cover from there.
All right, and that kind of wraps it up here from the airport here in Willmar. Special thanks to our crew. You guys are awesome. The dedication and the service that you provide, not only to our community, but another number of communities that you serve as a part of the consortium that LifeLink works with. So appreciate your service, and we're glad to have you here. And anytime you're in town and you need me to pick up some food because you can't leave your little house, let me know, and I'll swing on it out to you. All right. All right, good deal. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. You're watching Do You Know?
I'm Lisa, and I'm going green.
Okay, Gary Lehrman, I'm from Lake Florida. This is my friend Nadia, and we're going green.
Hi, I'm Marcia, and I'm going green.
Paul and Sherry Folman, and we're going green.
All right, it's Trey Pettigrew from S&W, and we're going green. Here's the crew, getting it done.
Hi, I'm Scott, and this is Carson, and we're going green.
I'm Tracy DeShepper, and this is Brady DeShepper, and we're going green.
Hi, I'm Lori, and this is Ron, and we're going green.
My name's Chase, and this is my mom, Tracy, and we're going green.
am Gina Hillenbrand with Lakeland Broadcasting, and we're going green today. This is our third year of doing the Going Green event. Things that are being recycled today are metals, batteries, appliances, computers, tires, garbage, oil filters, fluorescent light bulbs. This event is a great way to clean up your home, your yard, grove, and your city. Thank you for being part of the Going to Green event today. On behalf of Lakeland Broadcasting, we'd like to thank our sponsors and the volunteers from Ridgewater College. Tentatively, we are looking at doing this Going Green event in 2015.
Hello, Steve Brisendine, Wilmer Community Education and Recreation Director, here to talk about October activities for Wilmer Community Ed and Rec. We're going to start October with our fire station event that brings our early childhood programs in conjunction with their Wilmer Fire Department to a fun picnic night at the fire hall. You'll do things such as read along with the fire department, you'll check out their gear, there'll be other community partners that will be there to talk about their programs and activities as well. So join us at the fire station in October. We also have a plethora of opportunities for our early childhood programs and families. If you have 0 to 5-year-olds in your family and you'd like to get into some educational opportunities, call Jefferson Learning Center. They'd be happy to help you. We have a number of adult and youth recreation and enrichment activities as well through Community Ed and Rec. You can enjoy things such as cheerleading, geocaching, speed stacking. You can go out to Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center, enjoy the activities that take place out there with them and their staff. It's a very educational setting for everybody. We can get the great outdoors of Minnesota involved, and one of the activities that they'll be hosting for us this year is Mike Lynch and the stargazing activity. Mike comes in from WCCO Radio and does a wonderful presentation on the stars and the solar systems that are out there, and Mike is just a very active guy, and he's very entertaining, so join us for that fun family event. We also have any number of enrichment activities for adults as well. We've got dancing opportunities, we've got computer skills, we've got estate planning. So look at wilmercer.com for the activities that you might want to enjoy. Our adult recreation programs for the winter will kick off soon, so sign up now. We have opportunities for participants both individually and teams to sign up for curling, hockey, basketball, and volleyball. So call Brad at Community Ed and Rec if you're interested in any of those activities. Jim Nicholson leads our Adult Basic Education Consortium, which is a 10-school district consortium that runs from Hutchinson to Wilmer. We've got a number of activities at Jefferson Learning Center that will help you in your skills that you would like to attain future job growth or individual skills that will lead to citizenship. You can get some ESL training. You also can get some computer skills, driver's ed, whatever you need. Call Community Ed and Rec for your activities. Please join us with Wilmer Community Ed and Rec as we play, laugh, and learn together. This is an exciting time for us, and we'd like to share our activities with you. You've been watching Do You Know?
Good afternoon. This is Susan Mattson, University of Minnesota Extension Master Gardener, with Becky West, also Master Gardener. And this afternoon we're visiting Becky's house and all of her plants that are incredible. Becky specializes in growing sedum, but if you can take a quick look around, you will see that she has more plants than you can ever imagine in a yard. So I'm going to have Becky tell us a little bit about growing sedum. She has also done some programs to the public talking about the benefits of growing sedum and also different colors, different varieties, and it's just amazing. So I will turn it over to Becky for her words.
One of my goals in life is to encourage people to grow sedum because I don't think they gain the respect that they should have. Why should they have respect? Well, in our changing climate, they are incredibly drought resistant. And if anybody is tired of hauling hoses around in their garden, they understand what I mean by that. In fact, Sometimes the sedums start pouting if they get too much rain or too much water. So drought resistance is a big thing in my garden. This garden doesn't get very much water at all additional. We do have some things that are a little wimpy and need to be watered, but on the whole, everything that's here is either mulched really heavily or really is drought tolerant. This is a garden that is hit repeatedly by rabbits, woodchucks, turkeys, deer, squirrels, you name it. And they also don't seem to care a great deal for the sedums. That's not totally true of everything every day, but what I lose to critters here is really not too much of a problem. Should I go on?
I can verify that sedum really works well in our climate here in Minnesota, in western Minnesota, but also because of the hot, dry summers that we've had the last few years, my sedum has thrived. And it does need to be watered, as Becky mentioned, but not too much. It seems to be almost a, I'm trying to think of the word that really, it's not really a succulent, but it does keep the moisture fairly well. One thing that was really interesting that Becky was showing me at first when I got here was the fact that she uses some smaller varieties of sedum to as ground cover, and that's something that we're going to take a look at right now. Becky has used sedum as a ground cover in this area of her yard. I'd like to have her tell a little bit about the different varieties that she's using here. As you can see, there's a few pops of color here and there, but she also has a very broad area where it's totally green, and it makes a nice contrast where you have the bright pinks.
So sometimes it's just fun to learn how to say the different names. Spurium, Kamskatskium, Sarmatosa, Chubby Fingers, Variegata. Those are some of the ground covers that I have in here, and this started out as a pile of rocks with a little bit of dirt, and then the sedum was planted in here. There are also some hen and chickens, and a little bit of milkweed, both the common broadleaf milkweed as well as swamp milkweed, and the oregano. These things are planted in there so that bees can have an additional variety of nectaring sources. So even though it looks like weeds, it's there for a purpose.
I didn't mean to imply that it looked like weeds. Becky has some really interesting variety of little features in her garden too. Benches and bird feeders. It looks like she's got a pile of pots in there. It's just, the arches are beautiful too. So she's made it an area that I'm sure, I can just imagine what it looks like early in the morning on a nice summer day when the sun is shining and there's a lot of dew on the grass, and I'm sure it's a beautiful area to come out and sit and to just enjoy yourself. We want to move now to an area that Becky has planted a lot of specific sedum, and she'd like to tell us a little bit about each variety and the different colors that it produces.
The first sedum that probably most everyone has had experience with is the one directly in front of the turkey, and that one is Autumn Joy. Later today we'll show you a mass planting of the Autumn Joy. It's really a workhorse in the garden. It's just so beautiful. From early spring, when it starts out with the tiny little buds that look like broccoli, moving into the green foliage, and then the masses of green buds that eventually turn into these pink flowers, and even into the winter that turns kind of a bronze color, which is great for the chickadees in the wintertime. This time of the year they've been full of bees. Further on, we have other kinds of sedums. I thought I had 29 different kinds of sedums in here. Some of them are very distinctive, others are a little harder to tell apart. Xanax is one that I think every garden should have, because Xanax is an antidepressant, and certainly gardening is supposed to bring us a healthy respect for green and nature, and just is supposed to be relaxation in the garden. Matrona, Starry Night, which has white blossoms, green and gold that has variegated leaves, Curly Ruffles, which has ruffled leaves, Red Cali has red stems. Every gardener says, oh, you should have seen it last week. Well, last week you should have been here, and Strawberries and Cream would have been showing off with a pink and white blossom head. Now it's pretty much gone on to brown.
I was sorry that Becky didn't mention the one that I always remember, and that's T-Rex. And the reason it's called that, Tyrannosaurus rex, is because the leaves are toothed, whereas many of the other ones have rounded leaves. But this one is very distinctive, and you can always tell T-Rex from the other one. Now, we're going to do just a quick trip near the house where we can take a look at a mass planting of a sedum. It's a way of putting many plants together and getting an overall color of the same type of plant. So we'll take a quick last look at before we wrap up today. So we're standing next to Becky Green's house, and this is an area where Becky has planted a mass planting of sedum, the same variety, Autumn Joy. She mentioned to me before the program started that you can take little snippets of your plants as you're transplanting them, and it will give you a very broad carpet of the same sedum. And as you can see, it's a beautiful addition to the steps that we're standing by going up to the side of the house. This has been Do You Know? And we will be on next month with a fall topic. Thanks.
All right, welcome to the Channel 8 studio. We're here today to talk with James from the United Way. James, welcome to the program. You're the new marketing director. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, right now I'm taking care of all of our marketing efforts for the United Way, whether it's online, print, radio, social media, really trying to get the message of the United Way out to as many people as we can to really talk about our campaign this year, which is our most ambitious campaign ever.
It is. It's at $1 million. Why don't you give us a little update and tell us what's going on, what percent you're at so far in the campaign season?
Well, we're right now at about 14% to go, and again, that is for that $1 million. It's a very big number, an awesome number if we talk a lot about it as we look at the number of donations that have come in. It's something that we really need to reach up and up our game a little bit to get to, simply because there's more and more of the donation requests coming in. Last year was over $730,000 in requests from different agencies, and this year we're supporting 48 different agencies that are focusing on everywhere from education to health, basic needs, and income to really help the people within West Central Minnesota that need help.
And I know you mentioned education and health. It's part of the focus that you've gotten from feedback from different agencies and the people that are working with you at United Way. Tell us about that focus.
Yeah, we're changing our focus a little bit. We've talked a lot about education, health, basic needs, and income over the years as being areas we think we can create lasting change through. Last year, we took a look at our donors and talked to them a little bit and asked them, where can we create that change the best? And they said, really, education. 70% of donors said education is the best way for us to create lasting change. So we're kind of changing our focus a little bit, not forgetting about basic needs or income, but really focusing on education and health, because we know in order to succeed, you need to have that educational base. Whether you're a young child just getting ready for school, throughout the high school years, and then even after school, as you retire, maybe you lose a job, or trying to transition to a new job. Health obviously is important too, because you can't be effective in school or at work if you don't have those basic building blocks for good health.
It makes a lot of sense. For people that want to know how they can donate, I know that the flyer just came out in the mail not too long ago. What are ways that people can donate to the United Way?
Well, if they see the brochure in the mail, they can take a look at that. There's lots of different ways they can donate there. One of the easiest ways is if your business allows you to do a payroll deduction. That's probably the easiest way. It's sometimes hard to write a check for $100 or $200 at one time, but if you're taking just $1 or $2 or $3 out of your paycheck every time you get paid, you don't notice it as much. But again, that money still goes to doing some great things. We've been very lucky to have some very generous donors over the years throughout West Central Minnesota, and with our $1 million goal again this year, we're looking for a lot of help, and hopefully together we can do some great things.
That's true, and if you're a person who can't donate financially, there is a great volunteer connection website that connects people who want to volunteer with some of the agencies. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're very excited about this add-on to our website itself. If you go to liveunitedwcm.org, you'll find our volunteer connection. And I liken it a little bit to online dating for volunteers. It allows an agency to say what they need for volunteer needs, whether it's an hour, a weekend, a couple of days, and then you as a donor who has volunteer time you want to give, you can actually do the same thing and then connect with the different agencies. It might be you have an hour to give, and the Girl Scouts have an hour of time that they need someone to help out. Maybe it's fill envelopes, maybe it's get ready for flyers, things like that, and then you can kind of link up together and allow you to use your time to the best that you can.
That's very good. It's a great resource to have. Again, if you have an extra hour or two, everything counts. Either a financial donation or if you want to volunteer, it's great. You have coming up this month a business blitz. Tell us what that's all about.
Yeah, with our $1 million goal, we're challenging all the businesses throughout West Central Minnesota. They've been very generous over the years, and we'd like them to do the same again. And we have a little incentive, if you will, an opportunity for any business that donates before the end of October 24th. They can actually get themselves into a drawing for a chance to win a Lakeland Broadcasting advertising package. Our friends over at Lakeland Broadcasting have donated 60 30-second ads, and that can run on any of the 4 Lakeland Broadcasting stations. So a great way for you to get your message out and help support the United Way.
Oh, that's very good. Getting everybody involved in the community. That's what the United Way is all about. If you get a chance, check out the website, see if you can volunteer, or if you want to donate, it's always appreciated. And you guys are doing great things at the United Way. Keep up the good work and continued success with this year's campaign. All right, you're watching Do You Know?
Traders for sale or rents. Room at 50 cents. No phone, no food, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes. I got 2 hours of pushing through eyes of paper through 4-bedroom. I'm a man who means by no means king of the road. The 3rd boxcar, midnight train. Destination Bangor, Maine. Oh, worn out suit of shoes. I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies. I have found short but not too big around. I'm a man who means by no means king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all the children and all of their names, and every handout, every town, and every lock that ain't knocked. When no one's around, I send traders for sale or rents. Room and 50 cents. No phone, no food.
My name is Janet Alney. I'm the Executive Director at the Wilmer Area Arts Council, and I'm also Chair of this year's Celebrate Arts, Celebrate Coffee. We're having a great day out here today. The weather is absolutely glorious, and you can hear the entertainment going on in the outdoor stage. There are lots of your friends and neighbors here, so I'd love it if you could get on down. We have 33 artists exhibiting this year. We have 8 food vendors. We have free coffee all day. We have entertainment on the stage all day. It changes every hour. We have our raffle art. You can still buy a raffle ticket and have a chance to win that. It's just a great day all around. There are hands-on art tents for kids and for big kids, so you can make something and take it home. We have artists demonstrating so you can see how they do their art. We have Whitney music here with instruments so you can try your hand at playing an instrument. It's just a fun day, and I hope that you can come down. If you can't, a lot of these artists are local. You can go on the Celebrate Arts, Celebrate Coffee website. That's celebrateartscelebratecoffee.com, and find their names and where they're from so you can visit them other times of the year if you can't make it down here today. But I really hope that you do make it because we're having a wonderful time. Thank you.
Hi, Jody Wambeck with the Wilmer Early Childhood Initiative and Wilmer Early Childhood Family Programs. Today I want to tell you about our November WOW event, and remember, WOW stands for World of Wonder. This month we're doing just something a little bit different. We are actually working with the KMS Early Childhood Initiative and United Way of West Central Minnesota, and we will be hosting the WOW event at the Community Center in Pennock. So be looking on the Candy Kids Ready website as well as the United Way website for further information, and there will be flyers posted around town, down at the library, in some of the school buildings as well. Also, speaking of the library, be sure to check out all of the story hours that Kathy has planned and some of the great events she has planned for children. There's numerous things going on, so be sure to check out the Wilmer Public Library for all of the fun happening there. And then also early childhood screening. If you have not had your child screened, please be sure to contact Community Ed and Rec at 231-8490 to get them scheduled. We do those screenings twice a month, and we really are trying to get those little kiddos screened at about 3.5 to 4, just to ensure that there are no issues developmentally or health-wise that we need to have looked at prior to them going to kindergarten. You are watching Do You Know?
All right, welcome to the Goodwill store here on First Street. It's kind of a newer store. It's been open for going on its 5th month. Shelley is joining us here from Goodwill. You know, when people think about Goodwill, a lot of times they think about the store and they don't realize that there's a lot more to it. So we're going to be talking today about a few things. First, let's talk about Goodwill, and it's not only just Goodwill, but it's Goodwill Easter Seals. Tell us about that relationship.
Sure. Thank you, Rudy. Goodwill in Minnesota started operating in 1919. So our company in Minnesota has been around for almost 100 years. And we were a Goodwill affiliate mainly in the metro area. And as needs expanded, as programs expanded, it expanded outward. And in 1984, we also became the Easter Seals affiliate in the state of Minnesota. So as Easter Seals, we cover the whole state of Minnesota, and we cover about 55 counties in Minnesota as a Goodwill Easter Seals. And those two missions mesh well together because they both have a purpose of helping people with barriers to employment. And that really is the mission behind our company, is helping people with employment, education, and independence in the world of employment.
And that's one of the things that people don't realize, that you have job training and some employment placement support, which you kind of just talked briefly about the program, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. We kind of focus on 5 main things at Goodwill Easter Seals. In our program area, we help people prepare for work, look for work, get work, keep work, and advance in work. And all of our programs that revolve in work training focus on one of those 5 areas. So sometimes people come to us whether they have a disability, physical or mental disability, or they have another barrier like they're a new refugee to the country, or they have maybe a criminal history, or they have a barrier where they haven't had any work experience. They will come to us for job training, and we will help them prepare and learn what we call soft skills. Those are jobs or skills that sometimes people don't have or haven't learned that get them fired from jobs. And so we will do job training, do some work hardening where maybe they're working here for 3 or 4 months and are learning job skills that can transfer to really any job. One of the main things we focus on is attendance and punctuality. We know that if people are not attending work, they are not helping their employers. And so we're working on that, how to get along with coworkers and their bosses, how to take multi-step directions, and all of those things that will transfer. We're not necessarily training people to work at Goodwill or in retail. We are training them to work in any job. So that's our job training program. And then we move into placement, where we help people find a job, and a job that they want. Many people have different types of jobs they want. Not everybody wants the same type of job. And so we write an individual plan for each person and look for a job on what their goal is. Sometimes after people find a job, they need a little help keeping the job. And so that's when our supported employment comes into play. And we just recently got a new grant from the state, so we've expanded that into 6 counties around the area: Chippewa, Swift, Renville, Meeker, McLeod, and expanded into Candy, Ojai also. And we have about 25 people who we are currently supporting them and kind of a little bit running interference with them and their boss to help them keep the job that they like. They're a good worker, but sometimes there are just little issues that get people released from jobs. And then one of the other things that we really focus on that not everybody realizes is we also want to help people advance in jobs. There are not too many of us that are in the same job that we were when we started working in the work world, and it is a normal thing to advance in jobs. And whether that means you start out at part-time and you move to a full-time job, or you are working at a job without benefits and then you move to a job with benefits, that is one of the things that we track. We track what types of public assistance benefits people are on when they start in our programs, and where they're at when they end in our programs.
Okay, we got the lights turned back on. Part of the super efficiency of this new building, right, Shelley? Okay, another program we wanted to talk about is the medical equipment loan program, which I've used a couple times. Tell everybody what they need to know about that.
Yep. The medical equipment loan program is essentially a library for medical equipment, durable medical equipment that somebody might need after they have a surgery or they need it for a short-term loan. They can come and check it out free of charge for up to 2 months. And we have everything from wheelchairs to walkers, deluxe walkers, crutches, canes, tub seats, transfer benches, anything that is a piece of equipment, medical equipment, that can be cleaned, sanitized, and re-loaned out. And so this year, since last October 1st, we have done over 1,000 loans. Our program is open Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 4:30, and Bill Zimmer is our equipment loan coordinator. And we've loaned over 1,400 pieces of equipment out that people then use short term and return it back to us. So it's a fantastic equipment. In our new building, the best feature is we have a separate entrance for that. And so that entrance faces 19th Avenue, and it's right at the corner of the building where the Legion is. And so people can see it from the road as you're going by. It's highly visible. There's a handicap accessible door there. People can come right into his area. So it's just fantastic.
You know, it is. I've used it a couple times. I had some surgery and I borrowed a few things, came over to talk to Bill, and then I usually take my mom to a Timberwolves game and my dad to a Vikings game, and it's a lot of walking, so I come in and get a wheelchair. How easy is that? And it works out great. Check it out. It's funny because these things that we're talking about, these programs that we're talking about, basically are paid for by the people who donate and the people who shop here. Isn't that true?
Yes. Absolutely. A portion of the retail profits from Goodwill comes directly to our programs. And as our company has grown larger and larger, more and more profits are coming to our programs. We do also write for a lot of grants, and we've received, in the past year we received a huge Otto Bremer Foundation grant to work with new refugees. We've also received money for medical equipment loan from United Way and Wilmer Area Community Foundation, which we're very grateful for. But we do take in donations for those programs, and then the net profits from our retail store help support our programs, because the Goodwill really is not about selling cheap shirts. It is about helping people find jobs, and when people find jobs, they become independent, they are taxpayers, and it just helps the society in general. In last year, just the Wilmer store and programs generated over $500,000 worth of wages, and the tax base off that is a lot of money. And so we're really excited about that, because as we watch people move off of public assistance, move off of benefits that they were on, that were public benefits, they feel better, they're more excited, they feel like they're a contributing member to society. And that is one of the things that we say. We aren't a place for a hand out, we are a place for a hand up.
It's very good. I like it. And it's one of those things where, the holidays are upon us already, and if you can't donate anything, stop by and shop, because there's a lot of fun things you can find here, a lot of things that you don't realize that you didn't have, and that you see they're here from when you were a kid, and they're really neat. And I know there's a misconception of the type of people that shop here. I shop here, and tell us a little info about that, because it is kind of surprising.
Yep. Yeah, actually it is. If you walk through our store, it is not people shopping here just out of need. Actually, and I shop here all the time. Almost everything I buy comes from Goodwill. One, because I want to support our mission, and two, because I kind of feel like, well, why should I spend the money? Why should I spend more money if I don't have to? But the average Goodwill shopper is someone who is a woman, mid-30s to mid-50s, who probably makes over $50,000 a year. That, our company-wide, is the average shopper here. And so there is a misconception about who shops at Goodwill, and that it's just out of need.
Okay, so our lights went off, but I think I can see us pretty well here still too, so we're just going to wrap it up. It's on a motion detector, so at Goodwill, if you're not working, the light goes off, and then they know you're not working. So, all right, again, so if you can't donate, come here and shop, because it helps support all the programs as a part of Goodwill, and we appreciate all your hard work and everyone that's here at Goodwill. It's been a great asset over the last bunch of years, and then now with the new store, it's becoming even more and more popular. You're serving more and more people and things, so it's great. We appreciate all the work that you guys do here at Goodwill. All right, you are watching Do You Know?